music stand up in front of the camera. That was brilliant. And we did that at my wedding. We had everything all set up, and my son was a little guy, and this is 30 years ago. My son was a little guy, and when the music was going, he was gyrating and like air guitar and air singing and everything to the singer and all this stuff, and somebody put a bunch of flowers in front of the camera, so that just lives in our memory. But I assume we've got a clear shot here, and I'll take that away in a minute. My name's Dan Keene, by the way. Hi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Give yourselves a hand, man. Yeah, you guys rock. So happy to see you. I'm excited for a lot of different reasons. One, to be here with you in the community that we've developed is really heartwarming, and it's nice to have something to depend on, you know, and once a month, and just with all that's up in the air and how everything's changed, here we are, man, you know, living and loving and enjoying music together. So welcome. Glad you're here. We're wrapping up our third year of doing this and plan to continue until God shuts us down, because that's why we're doing it, you know. Well, I don't need to go into that tonight, but just really full and excited to see everybody here tonight. We've got some great writers. I also want to tell you about something really cool that's happening starting March 23rd at the historic, our old building down in near 5 Points in downtown Franklin. From March 23rd through April 2nd, there's a show called Smoke on the Mountain. It's a musical that used to run up on the Cumberland Plateau at the Cumberland County Playhouse for years. And I always meant to get up there and see it, never made it. It closed down. I curled into a fetal position, and now I've unwound because it's coming here at the end of the month. So Jody Todd informs me that tickets are really selling very well. So myself and others, man, make sure you get your tickets. In fact, I'm going to put this in my pocket to remind me tomorrow to get down there and get some tickets. It's a kind of a bluegrass gospel comedy musical. The setting of our old historic auditorium is going to be great. So that'll be fun. So hope everybody's well. Our format for those that are new, who's new? Raise your hand there. Well, good. Welcome. We hope you have a good time tonight. Yeah. See, everybody's so happy to see you, man. So, yeah, we have this first Act 1, we call it, with 3 up-and-coming songwriters. And, of course, as you know, this is free. And so you get to see them now, and then, you know, 2 or 3 years from now, it might cost you $100 a ticket to see them. So we're going to relish in the free show tonight. We thank you. And, you know, those of you that have been here, we always we make a pact before each show to say, okay, it's free, but each of them has pledged to give you at least a $1 show. So you're already ahead. You're ahead in this deal, right? So we'll go with Act 1. We're going to play 3 songs each, take a short break, and then Anna Vaus will come up for our Inside the Hits segment. There's lots of cool merch back there, and there's brochures and stuff for Smoke on the Mountain, and really tasty treats and beverages back there. So we're all set up with all kinds of creature comforts for you to enjoy things tonight. We will have that brief intermission and then come back with Anna Vaus, okay? Yeah. Well, let's meet our writers. Thank you. Let's meet our writers. Tia Goins from Lowry City, Missouri, huh?
Yes, indeed.
So tell these fine folks where Lowry City is sort of located.
If you're familiar with Missouri at all, it's right in between Kansas City and Springfield. That's the best way I can, about an hour south of Kansas City, an hour north of Springfield. In the middle of nowhere, 600 people there.
600 people.
Tiny little village.
That's
yes.
cute.
It is. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and how long have you been here? Do you commute?
No. I have been in Nashville for 20 years.
Yeah,
and
babe.
so this is home now, and we live out in Wilson County, and I love it here.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
How did music come into your life? Is that a family thing, or what
Yeah, a
happened?
little bit, yeah. My grandmother was a singer, and I grew up singing in church, and the first time I sang a solo, I was 3 years old, and the people clapped, and I thought, well, that's cool. And so I did little talent shows and festivals around where we lived, and ended up singing in a country music show in Missouri for till I was 19. I started
in Branson, or what
it was
that?
actually in Tightwad, Missouri.
Tightwad, really? Oh,
It's a
that's
real place.
beautiful.
It's a real place. They have a bank. It's really there. I promise. And yeah, it was a little Opry show there, and I started when I was 8 years old. That was my first full-time paying gig when I was 8, and I did that till I was 19.
Sweet.
And finished up college and moved to Nashville, and I've been here ever since. I've recorded a lot of other people's songs and had some records and got to sing on the Opry, and have gotten to do a lot of things. And then that pandemic happened. I don't know if that was weird for anybody else, but changed my life. I'll get into that later, but yeah.
Well, you're going to tell them later what
I
you
will.
told me?
Yeah.
About the message you
Yeah,
got? Okay,
yeah.
she got a
I
neat
will.
little
I will, yeah.
message from above that'll be, I'll just tease you with that, that she'll tell you about that's real interesting. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Tia. Tom Glenn. Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
Hi there.
You're originally from Boston, Massachusetts?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Small town.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? I commute.
Not much history there or anything, no music. that we know of. No. So how did you come into the folk scene there in Boston, or what was music? How did music come into your life?
Yeah, I was a singer-songwriter in Boston and New York for years and years. And then I think about 7 years ago, we moved to Nashville and started writing for other people. It was just another sort of musical color to explore. Ooh. And yeah, it's been great. After having done what I did for so long, it was just nice to wear a different hat, so to speak.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
You said we moved. You have a family?
Yeah, Katrina, she's right there. Say hi to Katrina, everyone.
Oh, hey, Katrina.
Yeah.
Katrina.
She kind of got me. She kind of got me into the country music years ago, and I got hooked.
Yeah, it's a different way of living down here. Hope you're enjoying it.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Good.
We haven't seen anyone from back home since we moved here, so we love it.
Well, welcome, Tom Glenn. Jasmine Raines, how are you this evening?
Doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm all right. So you're from Illinois, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
Right. Pekin, Illinois.
Pekin, Illinois. My mom's from Southern Illinois.
Right.
But, sounds interesting to me. I like Illinois. Good people up there, lots of good dirt for farming and stuff, you know?
Right.
So how did music come into your life, my friend?
My dad's a musician, a pianist, and he used to play restaurants. And then he came out with a couple of records back in the 80s. And very, very talented musician. And the first thing I played was drums. We bought a drum set at an auction when I was about 7, and I became a drummer, so that was my first thing.
Well, did you work up a bunch of Karen Carpenter stuff?
You know, I didn't know Karen Carpenter at the time, but
okay.
I should have, yeah.
That's all right. You're doing fine. So yeah, well, that was back when it was kind of unusual for women to play drums. So
right. It was.
Good for you.
It was, and in fact, I remember a boy in one of my classes told me, girls don't play drums, so just had to prove him wrong. You know?
That's right. You showed him. Yeah. Good. So the music came into your life with your family.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did you and your dad play together? Did you have a family band or anything?
We played together a few times. My dad is a classical pianist, but he also does some kind of really just out there kind of keyboard stuff. And he would have me play the drums with him, and just really far out stuff, you know.
Okay.
Keyboard. I think he got burned out on classical, sold his grand piano, and got some keyboards and stuff, and so.
And went further out there.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's fun. Good. Glad you got to go explore that with him.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Jasmine Raines, friends. So, Tia, you ready to kick it off?
I guess so.
Well,
yeah.
good. Then let's do that.
All right. Well, so on the story that I was telling him earlier, during the pandemic, like I said, I had always recorded other people's songs. I considered myself an interpreter of music. I'm on record saying that I am not a songwriter. I've tried it. I don't do that. That's not my thing. And in July of 2020, I was driving in my car. I can show you exactly where I was. And as clear as I just heard him speaking, I heard God say, "It's time to write." And I went, "No, you got the wrong guy. Sorry. I don't do that." No. And if you know anything about God, if you tell him no, he will bug you to death. And he did. And it was really kind of bothering me, and I didn't really know what to do with that. And about 2 weeks later, I ended up getting a phone call from a person that I had never met. We had some mutual friends, but I didn't know him. And his name was Jim Moose Brown. And he is a Grammy Award-winning songwriter, and he wrote a song that you might know called It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. And he calls me out of the blue, and he says, hey, I just saw this video of you, and I don't know you, and I don't know why I don't know you, but if you ever want to write together, let me know. I thought, well, gee whiz. Okay, so I told him, I said, look, I don't do that, but okay, so we met, and the day that we met, we got to know each other. He's from Arkansas, I'm from Missouri, so there's a lot to talk about there. And we just kind of got to know each other a little bit, talked for about an hour, and he said, well, what do you want to write about? And I go, well, let's see, I've been locked in the house for the last 6 months with my husband, and I've realized I like him. So we decided to write about that. When the questions outnumber the answers, and the black and the white has turned gray, the chaos throws off my direction, and it feels like I'm losing my way, when all I hear is noise, just the whisper of your voice makes it easy, so easy. One look from you is more than enough. And baby, when this world's gone crazy, the safest place to be is in love, and you make it easy. There's a comfort in knowing you hear me when nobody else understands, and the dreams that are just out of focus, they're clear when you're holding my hand. All my doubts and fears, they just disappear. So easy, so easy. One look from you is more than enough. And baby, when this world's gone crazy, the safest place to be is in love, and you make it easy, oh, so easy. One look from you is more than enough. And baby, when this world's gone crazy, the safest place to be is in love, and you make it easy, so easy. Thank you.
That was beautiful. This is a song based loosely on facts.
Nice.
If you squint The part that's somewhat fictional is I'm not handy at all. This is called Flat Tire. All our plans up in smoke on that long drive to the riverboat. A loud thud and that's all she wrote. I should have swerved around that hole. Our first date, just my luck. I was staring at you and it shook the truck. So who can blame me for getting stuck? My heart on the side of the road. You looked at me like we struck gold. We weren't waiting on no tow. You said get out the tools and jack it up. Hand me a wrench for the lug nuts. By the time that old wheel hit the dust, I knew this must be love. So we threw on the spare and jumped on in. In no time we were gone again. Spark that set my world on fire was that flat tire. Yeah, that's my girl ready to rock, turning lemons into lemon drops. No one rains on your honky-tonk, and when you fall it makes you laugh. A lot of miles to our name on these bumpy trails and old two lanes. There ain't a thing I don't want to change since the moment we crossed paths. Every kiss I'm there again, to where it started way back when. You say get out the tools and jack it up. Hand me a wrench for the lug nuts. By the time that old wheel hit the dust, I knew this must be love. So we threw on the spare and jumped on in. In no time we were gone again. The spark that set my world on fire was that flat tire. Oh, yeah. You say get out the tools and jack it up. Hand me a wrench for the lug nuts. By the time that old wheel hit the dust, I knew this must be love. So we threw on the spare and jumped on in. In no time we were gone again. The spark that set my world on fire was that flat tire. Was that flat tire.
Well, for something completely different, any Marie Kondo fans in here? You know who that is? Minimalist Lady. If it doesn't spark joy, you throw it out. That lady. Okay. This song is about, minimalism, throwing stuff out, spring cleaning, and also psychological minimalism, getting rid of the bad thoughts, that kind of stuff. So it's called Out with the Old. Out with the old. It's time to let go. Things that don't fit anymore. Too tight and small. Out with the old. It's time for spring cleaning. Dust in the window blinds, and there's cobwebs on the ceiling. Print back the branches so they can grow straight. Wash every window so I can see. Throw out those old thoughts that go to nothing. Break down those questions lead to nowhere. Out with the old. Out with the old. In bags and boxes. Throw that old couch to the curb and those old chairs to the auction. Toss out those old, tired and worn out ideas. doubts and pains of different days, and the heaviness of the years. Bring back the branches so they can grow straight. Wash every window so I can see. Throw out those old thoughts that go to nothing. Break down those questions that lead to nowhere. Out with the old. Bring back those branches so they can grow straight. Wash every window so I can see. Throw out those old thoughts that go to nothing. Break down those questions, lead to nowhere. Out with the old.
It's so good. You guys are amazing. Love it. Loving it. I'm having as much fun as y'all are right now. We all just met backstage, so this is really cool. The next thing that happened after Moose and I wrote that song is my husband and I, in the middle of the pandemic, well, it was September of 2020, but we decided to take a cross-country trip across Route 66. Has anyone ever done that? Okay, so that's been like my husband's dream since he was a kid, was to do the Route 66. So he had it all mapped out. He knew every little weird niche-y thing that we were going to stop at and see, and like he was just so excited. And I had never really been out west in that magnitude where I really got to see everything happen. And what I realized during that trip was I did not know what was around the next corner. I did not know what the next thing I was going to see was going to be. And it was really kind of running a parallel to my life at the time, because the music business was completely closed down. I'm writing music. I've never done that before. I don't know what to do with it when I do write. I'm like, I don't know what's next either. And so when we got back from that trip, Moose and I got together, and I was kind of telling him about this. And I, myself, have always been a planner. Like, I really like to know what the next thing is. And so ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to move to Nashville. And that was the only thing that I ever thought about. And so I missed a lot of things growing up because I was so focused on where I wanted to go that I don't have a lot of memories growing up. And so through that kind of recollection, this is what came of that. I know patience isn't easy when you're chasing down a dream, all caught up in the future, but it's never what it seems. When you're living for tomorrow, sometimes it's hard to see. Life's happening all around you. You're gonna want these memories. Slow down, take a look around. Once this day is gone, it won't be back again. Look up and take life in. The journey is so much more than just the end. Don't miss the good stuff while you're passing through. Enjoy the view. Find the beauty in a sunset. Play the games and sing the songs. Don't be afraid to say I'm sorry. You were right and I was wrong. 'Cause the one thing you can count on is nothing stays the same. You gotta soak up every moment before it slips away. Slow down, take a look around. Once this day is gone, it won't be back again. journey's so much more than just the end. Don't miss the good stuff while you're passing through. Enjoy the view. Slow down, take a look around, 'cause once this day is gone, it won't be back again. Look up, take life in. The journey is so much more than just the end. So don't miss the good stuff while you're passing through. Enjoy the view. Enjoy the view. Thank you.
This is a song I wrote with my buddy Wyatt Earp. Not that Wyatt Earp, a different Wyatt Earp. And this is a song. You may know Wyatt if you're a Blake Shelton fan. He wrote a song called She's Got Away with Words. It's a great tune. This one we wrote about, it's sort of a crying in your beverage of choice song. Tonight, I guess that would be water or Sprite. So please, ladies and gentlemen, pace yourselves. This is called Half the Bottle. I've been poring over the details, how it all went down the night you bailed. Still drinking and being left alone. What a fool for thinking we were set in stone. Least it came before you took my name in vain. Nothing bites worse than a diamondback, except the sting of cheap gin when you ain't got jack. Here's another round to drown the pain. Raise one up to down in flames, till there's not a drop left of this bitter swill to swallow. Just trying to figure out how to forget you till tomorrow. That's half the bottle. You said you finally had enough, that we were running low on the good stuff. So I'm sitting here staring at your little rock, but that sure as hell ain't what's getting polished off. Nothing bites worse than a diamondback, except the sting of cheap gin when you ain't got jack. Here's another round to drown the pain. Raise one up to down in flames, till there's not a drop left of this bitter swill to swallow. Just trying to figure out how to forget you till tomorrow. That's half the bottle. Gonna kill it off, maybe even this sorrow. 'Cause nothing bites worse than a diamondback, except the sting of cheap gin when you ain't got jack. Here's another round to drown the pain. Raise one up to down in flames, till there's not a drop left of this bitter swill to swallow. Just trying to figure out how to forget you till tomorrow. That's half the bottle. That's half the bottle.
Well, going to do one about, I was inspired by a time I was drowning my sorrows in coffee. I don't know which is worse, you know, it's kind of, I don't really want to be bouncing off the walls when you're sad, but anyway, yeah, this, it's about 10 years ago that I went through a time of grief and loss in my life, and I was sitting in a coffee shop, and the waiter came and asked me how I was doing, because he knew what I was going through, and I said, I just don't see the point in living without love. And he said, well, you can love yourself. And I didn't really like that answer. I thought, I'm a Christian. That sounds kind of new age, you know. But it's funny. It's kind of a thought that stayed with me for years. And as I've mulled it over, I've thought that was kind of the right thing to say, I think, because when you're feeling really alone and isolated, sometimes you need to, when you feel like nobody else out there loves you, you need to love yourself. You need to recognize that you have dignity, that you have value, that your life means something, even if it doesn't feel like it does right now. So anyway, but this song is kind of asking that question, how can I live without love? And then also, you know, just when you feel, when I was feeling so empty that I felt I didn't have anything to give to anybody else, it's kind of talking about that too. So this is called Without Love.
I can see it through the window, memories of fullness and light, waiting for the crumbs to come fall from the table, eating with the beggars tonight. It's alright. How can I live without love? How can I live without love? How can I live without love? How can I live without love?
Love the harmonica. So cool. this whole thing, you know, like I said, I feel like God called me to start writing, and I didn't know why at the time. And over the course of about a year, Moose and I and a couple of other writers, we ended up writing a whole album. And that was awesome, but for me, songwriting was therapy. It became a way for me to just figure out a lot of things, get through a lot of things, and if that's the only purpose it served, that's what God needed me. He needed me to learn some lessons. And I remember I was out on Briley Parkway, almost out around the Opry House, and I was listening to the radio. I was on my way to Moose's. We were going to write that day, and I was listening to the news, and they were reading the headlines off, you know, and I was like, where am I? Like, this just felt like I was in an upside down world. You know what I mean? You ever listen to the news and go, what is going on? And I had this idea, and I started thinking about it as I'm driving, and I got out to his place, and I was like, I have this thing, and I kind of started singing it, and I already had the chorus kind of figured out, and he was like, yeah. And so we ended up putting it on the album. We had Vince Gill come in and sing harmony vocals on it, which was unbelievable. Seriously. And the first time that I got to play the Grand Ole Opry at the Opry House, I had played the Ryman a few times, but I'd never played at the Opry House. And the first time I got to stand in that circle, I sang songs that I had written. And this was one of those songs, and this kind of just sums up all the things I learned through this whole process. There's a fear in the air that no mask can hide, doubt and a wolf at the door. I turn on the news, hear 3 sets of truth. Walter Cronkite ain't here anymore. But I find my peace when I realize that God's in control. And I won't waste my time worried about things I don't know. 'Cause what I know is nothing tastes better than Grandma's fried chicken and a big glass of tea. And what I know is love's right beside me, and his hand fits in my hand so perfectly. And the time that I'm here, I'll choose love over fear. Just let the rest of it go. And that's what I know. That's what I know. This old world tries to tell me that being afraid is the only way to survive. Well, I may not know the future, but I'm truly convinced life's more than just staying alive. We're surrounded by voices so angry with nothing to show. And I find that the more that I listen, the less that I know. What I know is there'll be flowers in springtime, and guitars sound better on an old porch swing. And what I know is loving your neighbor and forgiving each other can change everything. And the time that I'm here, I'll choose love over fear and just let the rest of it go. And that's what I know. That's what I know. That's what I know. That's what I know. Thank you so much.
For those of you who enjoy the streaming services, I have a new album out. It's called Skylight Intervention. And if you look for it, my last name is spelled Glynn, G-L-Y-N-N. Actually, I think it's up there somewhere. I don't know, but Tom Glynn. But for those of you who are my age, I think I brought some cassettes for you. This is called Magic Bonnie Wonder. Look at all this time and still you're always on my mind. Skylight Intervention or creation by design. Do you think that I would leave you swinging in the breeze? You don't know me. Magic Bonnie Wonder reaching for a tambourine. I'll record you here on paper, and I'll store you in my dreams. And my world is getting smaller. Nothing's as it seems, you've shown me. And when our time has come, and if you're still around, we'll go down to the water. I'm picturing this time since you were born. And if we drown, it's no wonder. Then I'll find a place to keep you warm. And every time I see the purple mountains to the canyon I will run. I want to see you at the altar. I want to feel you when you come. It's a long anticipation and this agonizing need for you to know me. Magic Bonnie Wonder reaching for a tambourine. If you stay here any longer, you will bring me to my knees. And my world is getting smaller. And nothing's as it seems, you've shown me. And when our time has come, and if you're still around, we'll go down to the water. I'm picturing this time since you were born. And if we drown, it's no wonder. Then I'll find a place to keep you warm. It'd be enough if I could turn you around. Magic Bonnie Wonder reaching for a tambourine. I'll record you here on paper and store you in my dreams. And my world is getting smaller, and nothing's as it seems, you've shown me. But when the tide had cleared, it's like we were never there, and you were gone. Bonnie Wonder, picturing this time since you were born. And if we drown, it's no wonder. settle back in time when you were gone. And if we drown, it's no wonder that I'll find a place to keep you warm.
Wow, I love that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, and I love the names. Skylight Intervention is the name of your album. That is super cool. I'm just gonna do one song here. It's kind of just as a short intro. The other day, our power went out. We were without power for about a day and a half, and I couldn't sleep because I'm used to all kinds of noises, and lights and things, and so I was reading a book, and it was a book about making decisions, about discernment, and I was like, I've really made bad decisions, and I didn't follow any of these steps. You're supposed to think logically about it, and then you're supposed to go to a quiet place and pray about it for a long time, and then you're supposed to, I didn't go through those steps at all. So anyway, but I was thinking about this and starting to feel a little bit depressed about it. Then I'm like, even if I did everything wrong, and if I did everything wrong in this life and I end up at the end of my life and I have Jesus and that's all I have, then that's all I need. And so this song, that's what this song's about. It's kind of about, I was talking earlier about when you feel like you got nobody that loves you. Well, this song is about the one who loves you. He knows everything about you, everything you've done, good and bad, loves you anyway. And this song's called All My Secrets.
Secrets, all my heaviness, things that plague me, things that shake me. Oh Lord Jesus, you can see these, I know. All my wide lies and all my fake smiles, all my callousness, unkept promises. Oh Lord Jesus, you can see these, I know. All my heartaches and all my losses, wildernesses and all my crosses. Oh Lord Jesus, you can see these, I know. All my hunger, all my thirsting, all my blessings and all my hurting. Oh Lord Jesus, you can see these, I know. All my joys and my celebrations, heights of love and my soul's elations. Oh Lord Jesus, you can see these, I know.
Tia Goins, Tom Glenn, Jasmine Raines. Thank you. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. That was a great round. That was just fantastic. Thank you. It's been our pleasure to have you as guests. We're going to take a real quick intermission. restrooms in the lobby. There's snacks and tasty beverages over that way. And if you want to say a word or two to these writers, I'm sure they'd enjoy getting to know you. And then we'll return with a great treat. Miss Anna Vaus is going to be here for Inside the Hits. See you in just a little bit. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Love is handsome and love is kind, bright as a jewel. When first it's new, but love grows old and waxes cold and fades away like morning dew. From the first time I saw your face, invisible in my disgrace, beyond my hope was that you would stay, that past mistakes could be washed away. So I cried, but you could hear me, and you promised to be near me. You eyes were there, only to care. You were the only one to see what I could be inside of me. All I can think to speak is please. Please don't leave.
Cool. Awesome. Hopefully that's the goal. Hey, check 1, 2. Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. Put some music on that's soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I hope you understand. I've been thinking about this. That sounds great to me. Yeah. Hey, you are too. Be like, hey. Okay. 3 to 5 business days. So. Oh, room temperature all the way.
Without you, there is only strife. I can't hope in another life. I remember, I know what this is. All I have are silent promises. You asked what there I to care. You're the only one to see. I can be inside of me. I can think to speak as please. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. There's one and all dear, but just for a layer, loud on tears you couldn't say. Queen obis estinatus, sumo deodatus, et de virgineo, vence procreatus. In mundo nascitur, panis in velvitur, praesepi bonitur, stabulo brutorum, recter supernorum, perdidit, spolia, princeps infernorum. Personnant hodie, voces forole, laudantis omnes clericuli pariter poveri cantantur angeli ad ministim mundo laudes tibi fundo ideo gloria in excelsis
Okay, everybody, if you want to make your way back to your seat, glad you got a chance to visit. And as I hope you know, you and your friends are always welcome here. We'll be back again the first Tuesday night of next month. This happens every month, first Tuesday. Glad to have you. Want to remind you about a couple things. One, there is a little box in the back for donations. If you feel so inclined, we can always use some help keeping this thing going the way we want to and the way we need to. Appreciate that. And also at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that Smoke on the Mountain. It's a gospel comedy bluegrass musical that had a very successful run at the Cumberland County Playhouse for years. We'll be opening in our historic sanctuary at the end of the month, so don't miss out on that. So our Inside the Hits artist this evening is a little different from some that we've had in that Anna Vaus's goal is to get cuts on other artists, and she's had like Carly Pierce cut one of her songs, but she's really been signed to a publisher to develop her own artistry. So we're getting to see this kind of on the front end, and a couple of years from now when she's headlining stadium tours and stuff, we can all go, yeah, I remember Anna Vaus. She was great. I knew she was going to make it, and you will be right. Anna grew up in San Diego, and it just seems like, I don't know, a couple of years or something that we met somewhere.
Somewhere.
She was in my publishing class at Belmont and stood out, of course. And in the songwriting program there, it was the inaugural recipient of the Miranda Lambert Songwriting Scholarship. So, yeah, that's a big deal. So musically, were your parents musical or?
Yes. Well, my mom, no. My dad is actually, he does music, but growing up, he was a children's country artist.
Children's country artist.
Very niche environment.
Was it like a Cactus Tom? Buckaroo kind of thing?
Like, absolutely. He went by the name Buck Howdy, and
Buck Howdy.
His hit was S'mores, and
S'mores.
As a kid, I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. We got to be in the music video and eat an endless amount of s'mores. So that's every kid's dream.
That was good.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Gosh, okay, Buck Howdy.
Yep.
I assume we can find that on YouTube and stuff.
You can, but you don't need to, you know?
Sorry.
Personally.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. That's fine.
Okay. So you, California, I mean, folks my age, the Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, Poco, the Byrds, Buffalo Springfield, what was kind of called California country at the time.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite music. So would you describe yourself as a kind of a California country writer, artist, or how would you describe what you're doing?
Definitely. I am really inspired by where I grew up. I think like there's so much history there in music, like you talk about. And so I really didn't get into those artists until I was a little bit older. And, I was listening to Taylor Swift and being like, I feel this way too. But later in high school, I found Joni Mitchell and was obsessed with Joni Mitchell, still am. And just like Laurel Canyon as a whole.
Can I ask, have you ridden up there and around all the places where they live?
Yes.
You have?
I just 3 weeks ago went, and I was by myself, and I was crying because LA traffic is crazy, but I was like, Joni Mitchell was here once.
Yes.
So,
from what I understand, they all used to gather, you know the Mamas and the Papas, right? Mama Cass was kind of the linchpin for all these people. They come to her house and hang out, and she'd introduce Graham Nash to Joni Mitchell, and they were a thing for a while and all that. So you got to go. I haven't been, man. I've been up the road, but not back where the houses are. And
yeah, it's pretty magical. I put on Joni Mitchell and I listened, perfect. And yeah, it was great. And I feel like same with Nashville. You don't allow yourself to be a tourist in the place that you grew up, and we visited my grandma a lot because she lived in Los Angeles, but I was there for a writing trip, and I was like, I'm leaning into the tourist. I'm doing Griffith Park. I'm doing Laurel Canyon, and it was great. So very inspired by those artists, and I think I would define California country as just breaking the mold of traditional country music, and I think that that's what my music does also, and it's country to some people and pop to other people, and it's just who I am as a person. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's a ton of stuff that we could talk about, but let's let you do that in the process of laying some songs on us.
All right.
Stuff, okay?
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Anna Vaus.
Hi, guys. Dan had us do a publishing project in his class, and it was a group project, so there were 6 of us that I think all got together in this pod, and they would be thrilled to know that this is happening right now. Well, I'm going to play you some songs that you definitely don't know, and, you know, that's what makes it fun, is that it's a surprise, because you've probably never heard them before, but they're all songs that I've written and songs that I'm proud of, and this first one I wrote with one of my friends. Her name is Hannah Ellis, and she's another amazing artist in Nashville that I feel like I've come up with. And we wrote this just because we both were sitting in a room one day, and we were like, you like wine, right? And I was like, I do like wine. And she was like, I like wine too. And so we wrote this song called Lightning in a Bottle about, you know, meeting your significant other over just a great glass of wine. And she played it for an artist named Carly Pierce, and Carly loved it because she also loves wine, which is great for everyone involved. And she recorded the song and put it out, and this was the first song that I got to go and buy on a CD in Target, which was really cool to me, and something that I've always dreamed about doing as a kid who would pull out the liner notes and, you know, read all the things. And I'm glad that this happened a few years ago, because now there's not even CDs at Target, so I think it was good timing. But this song's called Lightning in a Bottle. $20 Cabernet was the same kind we always drank. Never knew it to go to my head like it did. You were pouring more than you usually do. How'd you know that I'd need an excuse to say the words I never thought I'd use till I did? What are the chances that your heart was thinking what my heart was thinking when we got to drinking? We caught lightning in a bottle last night. You could feel the heat coming off the vine. Falling for the first time, yeah, it just don't happen twice. We caught lightning in a bottle last night. I'd have to say the odds are in our favor, a little too early or a little bit later. Might have missed the moment and the magic that came with it. I have a hard time believing that it was so easy, but you made it easy. We caught lightning in a bottle last night. You could feel the heat coming off the vine. Falling for the first time, yeah, it just don't happen twice. We caught lightning in a bottle last night. Ooh, ooh, yeah. What are the chances that your heart was thinking what my heart was thinking when we got to drinking? We caught lightning in a bottle last night. You could feel the heat coming off the vine. the first time, yeah, it just don't happen twice. We caught lightning in a bottle last night. We caught lightning in a bottle last night. Thank you. I'm not used to telling stories about my songs. I'm used to people in a bar being like, just play Shania Twain. And I do play Shania Twain for them, and it's a great time. I don't know if this is okay, but I do want to say, like, I know we're in Franklin, near Nashville, but there's probably a lot of musicians and people around the music world in the room. But if you have a question about what I do, so do so many people in my family. But feel free to just like raise your hand. I can see your faces. I would love to answer a question or tell a story. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about my songs. But this next one I'm going to play has kind of a strange story to it. Is Harry Styles here by chance? You never know. I ask because I just feel like if I told this story and he was in the room, things would get weird. And I'm trying to make a great impression with Harry Styles, you know? So I had this dream that we were dating. Yeah. And we were in Urban Outfitters, and we were just walking around, hanging out. And in the distance of this Urban Outfitters, I see this Harry Styles bucket hat. And I turn to him, and I'm like, Harry, you've got to try on the bucket hat. And I was British for some reason. I don't really know why. And he was like, okay, because he's actually British. And so we walk over to this bucket hat, and he puts it on, and I'm like, let me get your picture. And I go to take his picture, and right as I'm like about to get it, he goes, it's not working out, love. And I was like, the bucket hat or us? And he's like, the bucket hat. Or no, he says us. I wish he said the bucket hat. And he breaks up with me in this Urban Outfitters, which is very tragic. But later in this dream, I am in a bar with one of my best friends, and who walks in but Harry Styles? And all these girls are freaking out because it's Harry Styles, and I turn to my friend and I go, Katie, he is always going to be Harry Styles. And now I'm just a girl in a bar. And I woke up, and I did what any, songwriter would do, and I wrote down the title, Girl in a Bar. And I happened to, that day, be writing with one of my heroes, Luke Laird, who's an amazing songwriter and producer. And it was the first time we were writing together, and I was so nervous. And I went in, and we sat down, and I said, well, I have this idea for a song, like where you run into your ex in a bar that definitely exists. It's called Girl in a Bar. And he was like, that's great. Like, did you see your ex recently? And I was like, mm-hmm. And we wrote this song, Girl in a Bar, and it wasn't until like a year and a half later that I told him that it was about a dream I had about Harry Styles. So it means that much more now. But this song's called Girl in a Bar. We were riding high, we were flying free. Things were good and the grass was green, making waves in a West Coast town. All the love songs were making sense. All the other lovers just came and went. Tough to see the end when your head's in the clouds. But now I'm just a girl in a bar, and boys, the summer's just a song. And every black Pontiac's just another car that's been running on empty too long. Summer's just a season, Friday night's just another reason to run into you. Act like we ain't what are. A boy with a beer and a girl in a bar, talking to everybody but you like there ain't an elephant in this room. Would have been nice if it would have worked out. Damn, love's hard. I'm just a girl in a bar. I'm kinda mad at myself, I'm kinda mad at you. Kinda wonder if you're kinda mad at me too. Am I the girl that got away, still on your mind? Am I just a girl in a bar? And boys, the summer's just a song, and every black Pontiac's just another car that's been running on empty too long. Summer's just a season, Friday night's just another reason to run into you. Act like we ain't what we are, a boy with a beer and a girl in a bar. Oh, girl in a bar. Okay, I want to try something. So I like to do this thing right before the bridge, where I go like this. 1, 2, 3, emotional bridge. Okay. And based on your reaction, it's way uncool to do it by myself. So I think we should all do it together, okay? Guys. Okay? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, emotional bridge. I'll drive home alone, hoping you drive home alone too. Oh, I'll drive home alone, hoping you drive home alone too. Girl in a bar, and boys, the summer's just a song. Every black Pontiac's just another car that's been running on empty too long. Summer's just a season, Friday night's just another reason to run into you. Act like we ain't what we are, a boy with a beer and a girl in a bar, talking to everybody but you like there ain't an elephant in this room. Would have been nice if it would have worked out. Damn, love's hard. I'm just a girl in a bar. Give it up for yourselves. You nailed it. How we doing so far? Good? Anyone have any questions? It's okay if you don't. You're like, we don't. Well, I grew up in California in a town called Poway. Was someone cheering for San Diego earlier? Wow. Are you guys from there? Okay. I grew up right by the Sprouts in Rancho Bernardo. That's insane. And you guys are from where? Oh, that's amazing. La Jolla also? What are we doing here, guys? Living the dream. So true. So true. Truly, that was beautiful. I'm going to write that in my journal later. Yeah, I grew up in Poway, which is in San Diego County, and it's this beautiful place, and I love it so much, and my family's there. And anytime I talk to someone that's in Nashville or anywhere that's not San Diego and tell them that I'm from San Diego, they're like, why did you move? And you know, it really, truly, the answer is to chase this dream of music I've had since I was a kid. I, you know, grew up with a dad that did music and a mom who is a journalist, and so I have always loved words in all forms. And my dad really helped me understand what songwriting was and that it was a job that you could do. And, you know, because of that and because of artists like Taylor Swift and Casey Musgraves, I knew what Nashville was. And I started looking at colleges and found Belmont University in Nashville and just fell in love. I mean, if you walk across that campus, it's hard not to fall in love. It's so beautiful, and the people there are so kind and so welcoming. So I pretty quickly knew that that was the college that I wanted to go to. It was the only school that I applied for, and I was able to apply early enough where I was like, if I don't get in, then I have some things to take care of. But I got in, and I was accepted to the songwriting program there, and just felt so lucky to be there at all times and to be sitting on a campus that sits right at the top of Music Row where all this history has taken place. And my sophomore year, I heard about this scholarship that was being donated to Belmont by Miranda Lambert, and it was for a female in the Curb College of Music Business that was pursuing songwriting or artistry. And I was like, that's me. And you had to submit 3 songs that you wrote by yourself, and you had to write an essay about 3 women that you looked up to in the music industry, and then you had to do a get to know you video. And I did not list Miranda Lambert as one of the people that I looked up to, because I was like, I think everyone's going to do that. But I was chosen as the first recipient, which was a huge, huge honor to me, one, to be picked by Miranda, but also to just financially have the gift of being able to keep studying at Belmont and keep living in Nashville and writing songs in my dorm room and at NSAI and anywhere that people would let me in the door. And so it just was a gift then and continues to be a gift now, and has opened a lot of doors for me. So I want to play you one of the songs that I submitted for this application. I wrote it my end of my freshman year, and this boy absolutely broke my heart, which happens your freshman year of college, I think. And so I wrote a song about how I felt about that. And, you know, I think I posted it on my Instagram or my Facebook or somewhere that my mom could see it. And she heard it, and she called me immediately and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yes, kind of, but we're never speaking to this boy again. So this song's called Bathroom Floor, and I haven't played it in a while, so give me some grace. Turned off the lights and I turned on the faucet, let it run. I'm wearing your t-shirt, you must have forgot you forgot this one. Well, love ain't fair, love's a game. And if you ask me, a hard one to play with somebody like you. You don't get hurt, you act so tough. You'd rather give up than give me your love. Meanwhile, I'm lying on the cold tile, hoping I'll feel nothing so I don't feel pain anymore. You move on and I fall apart on the bathroom floor. The tick of the clock, the drip of the sink, well, they sound the same. But this time around, every drop makes me wish I could slip down the drain. Even this water won't wash you off. I can't get rid of you, but maybe that's what you want. You don't get hurt, you act so tough. Rather give up than give me your love. Meanwhile, I'm lying on the cold tile, hoping I'll feel nothing, so I don't feel pain anymore. You move on, and I fall apart on the bathroom floor. You say sorry, but you don't know what for. You got to have me close that door. You moved on, and I fell apart on the bathroom floor. Thank you. I've got my magical list of songs up here, and it's fun because I get to pick which one to talk about. Let's see. I wasn't going to play this one, but I'm feeling crazy. And you're going to hear the song and be like, that wasn't that crazy. But I have anxiety, so a lot of things feel like going out on a limb. Whoa. This is a song that I wrote last fall, and an artist named Roman Alexander released it. I wrote it with him and a guy named Blake Bollinger. And, you know, I feel like my life, in a way, my professional life is split into kind of two different brains or circles, I guess, where there is Anna Vaus, the artist, and there are some days where I go into a room and I write songs that are specifically geared towards songs that I would release as an artist and play on the road when I'm opening for, you know, fill in the blank person. And then some days I go in and I get to be the person that just helps a song along into a room for another artist. And this was one of those days, and I just felt so grateful to be in the room. It was one of my favorite songs that I wrote of last year. And this song is called Can I See My Dog? And I grew up with animals. I grew up on in a house with a big yard that was a lot bigger than the house was, and I'm so grateful for that because we had horses and chickens and lots of cats and guinea pigs and all that. And we had a dog named Lincoln, and he was my favorite. I don't know if you have a dog that you grew up with, but they're like the best. And you just grow with them and you change with them. And I have siblings, but Lincoln was like one of our siblings, and he would get into as much trouble as my brother and I would. And so we decided to write a song about our childhood dogs, and I hope you like it. It's called Can I See My Dog? Well, that's a great start. When I get to heaven, I'll probably shake your hand, make some stupid joke about me barely getting in. I'll see that river running and wanna cast a line, climb high up in that oak tree, see if I can finally fly. But before I do, Lord, don't get me wrong, there's a lot I wanna see, and there's friends that I've missed who've been watching over me. Yeah, I've got a list of questions, leaves the country mile long. first things first, can I see my dog? Could you get my first car running so I could take him for a drive? Let him hop up in that shotgun, head hanging out the side. We'll find that perfect field, maybe play some ball, scratch his head and take him on a golden sunset walk. Lord, don't get me wrong, there's a lot I wanna see. There's friends that I've missed who've been watching over me. Yeah, I've got a list of questions, at least a country mile long. But first things first, can I see my dog? When you only get 13 years together, it's good to know that there's a place they live forever. Lord, don't get me wrong, there's a lot I wanna see. There's friends that I've missed who've been watching over me. Yeah, I've got a list of questions, at least a country mile long. But first things first. Yeah, first things first. Can I see my dog? Thank you. Well, on a completely different note, I don't know if you've ever been broken up with by someone that you didn't even date. It's a terrible feeling. And I, again, really don't know how to process my feelings other than to write songs about them. And I fear that, like, there's just a list of people, specifically boys, that don't really know I exist, but that I went to college with, that know that these songs are about them. And that's a terrifying feeling also, but one that I've chosen as a career path. So I'm rolling with the punches on it. But there's not really much of a story behind the song other than, I guess, I wrote this during the pandemic and over Zoom, and like so many of us, our lives went from being in person, you know, going to an office or going to a writer's room, and all of that went online very quickly. And thankfully, Zoom exists for songwriters, because I don't know what I would have gotten done for that period of time. I would have watched way too many seasons of Survivor, and I already accomplished that. So I would have doubled my time. But I wrote a lot of songs on Zoom, and a lot of them I feel like were just to keep like the muscle going. I am a firm believer that songwriting especially is a muscle, and that's something that my professors taught me at Belmont, was that it's just like exercising. If you don't write every day, your brain's gonna get out of shape of writing. And so much of Zoom was not about the end results of the songs that we wrote, because it's really hard to connect musically over a computer with lag and a lot of pixels and Wi-Fi problems and cats running around in the background. But this song in particular was one that I found was one of my favorites that came from Zoom. And I wrote it with Mark Trussell, who's an amazing producer, and Steve Mokler. Is anyone a Steve Mokler fan in here? Everyone clap. Woo! Steve is an amazing artist and songwriter. I definitely recommend that you check him out. And So we wrote this song, and I was like, I have this title called Didn't Even Date, and it's, about being broken up with by someone that you didn't even date, and they went along with me on it, and I think helped me pull out some feelings that I didn't even know existed in my heart, but they do. So this is Didn't Even Date. I saved your number in my phone, but I don't even have a picture of you and me in it. I don't even know if your best friend knows my name. Nobody's feeling bad for me, and it's been pretty sad for me lately. And I know I sound crazy, 'cause we didn't even date, didn't even break up. Why am I feeling some type of way? Don't get to, but I want to get wine drunk and call you like, hey, hey, what happens next? But you ain't my friend and you ain't my ex. So tell me, how the hell did my heart break if we didn't even date? We didn't even date. I got a whole playlist of songs I try not to cry to, but baby I do whenever I'm alone. And it kind of feels wrong. We didn't even date, didn't even break up. Why am I feeling some type of way? Don't get to, but I want to get wine drunk and call you like, hey, hey, what happens next? But you ain't my friend and you ain't my ex. So tell me, how the hell did my heart break if we didn't even date? If we didn't know we didn't even date. You say I'm over dramatic and overreacting. You're over me now like we never happened. We didn't even date, didn't even break up. Why am I feeling some type of way? Don't get to, but I want to get wine drunk and call you like, hey, hey, what happens next? But you ain't my friend and you ain't my ex. So tell me, how the hell did my heart break if we didn't even date? Yeah, we didn't even date. We didn't even, oh, no, didn't even date. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here on a Tuesday night. It's pretty impressive. How many people in here do music in some way? I'm just curious. All right. Yes. Awesome. You played earlier. Amazing. Music is a really funny thing I found. I'm 26 now. I moved to Nashville when I was 17, and I guess I grew up a fan of Taylor Swift and Casey Musgraves and country music, like I said. But I moved to Nashville and I was like, here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna get to Belmont. I'm gonna write like 3 songs. I'm gonna sign a publishing deal. I'm gonna sign a record deal. I'm gonna go on a world tour, opening up for Taylor Swift. And then I'm gonna go on a world tour where Taylor Swift opens up for me. And then I'm gonna turn 18. And I was like, this is exactly how it's gonna go. And you know, it didn't go like that, and it hasn't yet. I'm still holding out for, you know, a Taylor Swift tour someday. A girl can dream. But it's been such an interesting journey to follow music and to write songs and really trust in, you know, this thing that I have in my heart that I'm supposed to be writing songs and making music and sharing them with people. And there's those high moments and there's those low moments in it, as are with any dream that you chase or any relationship that you have. And I feel really lucky because my highs feel really high. I've gotten to play the Grand Ole Opry, which is so cool, and open for Willie Nelson, which is pretty crazy. No pun intended. And I feel like I grew up with parents, and I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and just was taught to like really be grateful and embrace the high moments, and know that they don't mean everything, and that there's a balance in between. But there was a moment for me where I was in a low, and I was living by myself, and I came home from a write, and it wasn't a particularly bad write. It was just a bad day for me, and I got home and I sat down on my floor and I just started crying. And I was like, what the heck am I doing here? I moved all the way across the country, away from my family and my best friends and like the best Mexican food ever, to be honest with you, to try and like make it in music. And am I insane for thinking that this is something that it's possible? I don't know. And I really thought about what it all means to me, and I decided to, instead of keep crying, to write myself a song for the inevitable future lows and the future highs, as a reminder to just always do what I love and what drives me wild. So this song's called Wild Honey. I have a lot to say about this song, and I'll try and cut it short. But one thing that's also really special about this song to me is I have siblings, like I mentioned. I have a younger brother named Jacob, and he is an amazing director and cinematographer. And we brainstormed this idea for the music video for Wild Honey. And I flew home one week, and we called up my elementary school principal and my elementary school front desk receptionist, and asked them if they would be in this music video, because we just imagined them as we were dreaming up this video and the storyline for this video. And our principal has always been a goofy guy, like very much a performer, and he was like, I'm in, sign me up. Bonnie, who is the receptionist, was like, I'm good, thanks. Hung up the phone. And I called her back a few days later, and I was like, Bonnie, it's not about a role that you have to play. It's not about certain dance moves that you have to do. We want you to be in this because your spirit is the spirit of this song to me. And she was like, okay, I'll do it. And so the two of them showed up to this set, and we filmed this music video. And I don't think I've ever cried so many tears of joy and laughed so much in creating a video like that before. And you can watch it on YouTube if you want. If you just search Wild Honey by Anna Vaus, it will come up. And I'm really proud of it, and I'm proud to have created it with my brother. And my mom is a journalist and a videographer, so she shot a behind-the-scenes video for it. It was a whole family affair, and shot in San Diego, which means a lot to me. So for my San Diegans in the room. So this song is called Wild Honey. Yeah, I hope you like it, and if you need to hear it, then consider it like a hug from me to you. Honey, I wanna let down my hair. I wanna be with you everywhere. I wanna ride off into the blue. Oh, honey, don't you wanna feel the beat in your heart? Don't you wanna dance in the dark? Don't you wanna feel something new? Feel the fire the burn of desire, it's passing us by. Whatever drives you wild, honey, whichever way the wind blows your mind, whatever sets your soul on fire, I'm telling you, hard to find. What gets you high? What keeps you up at night? Whatever drives you wild, wild honey. Honey, won't you give it a chance? Won't you let me hold your hand? Come on, baby, the fire, the burn of desire is passing us by. Whatever drives you wild, honey, whichever way the wind blows your mind, whatever sets your soul on fire, I'm telling you, hard to find. What gets you high? What keeps you up at night? Whatever drives you wild, 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 honey. Don't you wanna feel forever young? Don't you wanna be the ones that never grow up? Don't you wanna feel forever young? Don't you wanna be the ones? Whatever drives you wild, honey, whichever way the wind blows your mind, whatever sets your soul on fire, I'm telling you, hard to find. What gets you high? What keeps you up at night? Whatever drives you wild, wild honey. Thank you. Well, I've only got a few songs left for you. Final, this is the last time I'll ask, but does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Yes. No, because I haven't made much money because, well, I guess in a way. Oh no, he knows. What's worse is that I got back together with him. I know. It's every mom's worst nightmare. But then I did break up with him again, so it's all good. I'm dating a nice boy now, which is always nice, you know? All right, this song is very new. I really haven't played it that much, but I'm really proud of it. I was home for Christmas break, and I spent like a month at home. And I don't know if your hometowns are this way, but in Poway, where I grew up, there is this one bar that everyone from my high school goes to around Christmas break, and specifically on Christmas Eve. Everyone goes to church, and then they get home, and, you know, my parents go to bed, and then my brother and I are like, all right, we're going to Players Sports Bar and Grill, and we're going to run into everyone that we grew up with. And part of it is fun, because some of my best friends are people that I went to high school with. The other half of it is absolutely terrifying, because, at least for me, who I was in high school was pretty weird. I was obsessed with Taylor Swift, really big fan of Ellen for some reason. She's really cool, but I was just like a diehard Ellen DeGeneres fan. And I'm sure I did some things that I can't even imagine. I can't even think about. I've just repressed from my memory. But we went to this bar, and, you know, we run into all these different people, and it was so funny because there's the question that I feel like gets asked when you see someone at a high school reunion, or you're running into someone that you're not very close with, but you used to be, and it's like, so what's going on? And I had just come out of a hard year, honestly, like professionally. I was questioning a lot of my artistry and my music, and I'm really struggling in that way. And I remember seeing this boy from my home ec class, and I was like, things are better than they've ever been. And he was like, me too. And it's just this weird thing that happens that we do, and we're human, and I think it's funny that we do that, but I wrote a song about it, and it's called Halloween on Christmas Eve. I just realized this whole time my guitar has been down. None of you said anything. I put on a nice coat for a bar with $2 beer. Half of me is asking me what I'm even doing here. There's garland on the windows, not a parking spot in sight. Haven't seen the half of them since grad night. And the quarterback's pouring whiskey, and the prom queen still lives down the street. And we talk and talk like we're where we thought we'd be, 'cause it's Halloween on Christmas Eve. Careful conversation with a boy from home ec. I'm so intimidated that my cheeks are turning red. And it's funny, but it isn't. I'd feel lucky to kiss him still. Guess part of me stayed 17 and always will. 'Cause the quarterback's pouring whiskey, and the prom queen still lives down the street. And we talk and talk like we're where we thought we'd be, 'cause it's Halloween on Christmas Eve. Ooh, I've gone back in time, and I think I'd like to step outside. Ooh, I guess that's life. We're all haunted by ghosts who haven't died. 'Cause the quarterback's pouring whiskey, and the prom queen never graced the screen. So we raise a glass to the class of 14. Here's to Halloween on Christmas Eve. Halloween on Christmas Eve. Thank you. Well, this is my very last song. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Dan, thank you so much for reaching out. I think I just pointed at you, Dan. Okay, yeah. I really do appreciate it. It's like the greatest gift to get to talk about songs and to share them with you and for you to listen. I've been on tour for the past few weekends and playing in some really cool venues, but when people start drinking alcohol, you wouldn't believe how loud they get. And Yeah, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you want to listen to my music, it is online. You can search Anna Vaus on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube. It would mean a lot. And if you want to be my friend on Facebook, I'm on there too. So you won't believe the pictures of my cat. All right. This last song comes with a little bit of a story about the boy that broke my heart and I got back together with and then broke my heart again. So a few years ago now, I got asked to play Pilgrimage Festival, which we're in Franklin. So you guys know Pilgrimage Festival. Oh, yeah. And I was so excited because I've been going to Pilgrimage Festival for many years as a fan, and I've always wanted to play it as an artist, and I was really honored to get asked to play. And the first thing I did was ask, well, who is playing, Pilgrimage Festival? And the person that invited me was like, well, Dave Matthews Band is headlining. Anyone here a Dave Matthews Band fan? Yeah. Okay, you know who else is a Dave Matthews Band fan? Ex-boyfriend. And he lives in Nashville, so I knew he was going to see that Dave Matthews Band was playing a concert just down the street, and he was going to get online to get tickets, and he was going to have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page to click purchase, and before he could click purchase, he would have to see my name. And that feels pretty good, you know? Thank you. So I did what any mature woman would do, and I wrote him a song. And I'm going to play it for you now. It is not the best shade of my character, but we all have our moments. This song's called How About That? Okay, I tried to play it all off when you made a bad joke about hating my songs, but I won't lie, I cried when you were singing along, and you got the chorus wrong. Ouch. Alright, I can give the benefit of the doubt. I'll make it real clear what this one is about. Words can be so hard to understand. This is the one where I open for your favorite band. How about that? How about that? Life is funny, baby, line up stacked. I don't mean to toot my brass, but burr, 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 burr. Kiss my, yeah. Sorry if I got a little petty right there, but you broke my heart, and I finally don't care about that. Burr, burr, burr. How about that? I hate to break it to you, but there's no bouncing us back. I told my mom what you did, and I know she told my dad. It's unrelated that you changed the way you act, and you're looking for a backstage pass. How about that? How about that? Life is funny, baby, line up stack. I don't mean to toot my brass, but burr, 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 burr. Kiss my, yeah. Sorry if I got a little petty right there, but you broke my heart, and I finally don't care about that. Burr, burr, burr. How about that? Trumpets. Burr, 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 I know it's hard to tell by my sort of condescending tone, but I really wish you well, and I honestly hope that you go and find the one, 'cause it ain't me. Truth hurts, but you really did change me. How about that? How about that? Life is funny, baby, line up stacked. I don't mean to toot my brass, but burr, 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 burr. Kiss my, yeah. Sorry if I got a little petty right there, but you broke my heart, and I finally don't care about that. Burr, burr, burr. How about that? Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna Voss.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. You probably do. You probably do.
Hey, she looked so carefree and peaceful and everything's good. But truth be told, Anna is under a lot of pressure right now to finish a record, and there were people that had scheduled her to do that tonight, and she was like, no, I made a commitment to go out to sing at 19 Miles of Music Row. She came out and made it look easy and fun, and we really appreciate that, Anna. You're great.
Thank you.
Great girl. There is in the back a merch table with stuff from the other artists here and some stuff about Smoke on the Mountain. And do you need to scoot? Or can folks say hi?
Oh, I would love to meet you.
Well, good. Well, she'll hang around for a little bit then before she goes into the studio. And thanks again for coming. Don't forget, as always, share the music you love with the people you love. And we'll see you next month. Bye.